So this happens fairly often on YouTube, but somebody will have an idea, somebody kind of gets to it first. Shout out to Greg over at Science Studio, one of my favorite channels to watch, especially when it comes to PC building. He recently did a video where he compared the value proposition between a brand new GTX 6060 and a used GTX 1070. Now, I actually was working on a video similar to that, which is this, because I'm in the process of selling my GTX 1660, and I wanted to kind of address people who are looking to buy a card right now. And your options, these aren't your only two options. Yes, I know about AMD, the 570, the 580. I love those cards. I've said it here pretty much. Today we're focusing on these two cards. The 1070 is older, so more than likely you're going to be finding that on the used market. It's still one of the best performing cards. Now, I've said this before in videos, the 70 series of cards has always been my sweet spot when it comes to Nvidia. From the 970, the 1070, and currently I have a 2070 in my main machine. So what I want to get into is if you're looking to buy a card right now and your options are about $200, that's your budget, and your options are a used 1070 versus a brand new 1660, what should you do? Which one should you pick up? Now I'm going to do some unorthodox benchmarking. If you're looking for really super in-depth benchmarking, I've already compared these two cards. I wanted to test them now on some games. You can go to channels like Science Studio, Gamers Nexus, Hardware Unboxed. There are a lot of channels that are going to give you the in-depth, to the number benchmarks. Mine will be a little more laid back, but I think really relevant to the average gamer. So let's get into the benchmarks, and when I'm done, I'll come back and tell you which card you should be looking for right now. So like I said, these are gonna be some unorthodox benchmarks here on my main rig, the Ryzen 2700 build. If you wanna see the full specs, please pause it right here. We're gonna have the 1660 on the left and the 1070 on the right. Now, when we go into superposition, I'm not gonna show y'all the full run, but you can see pretty much that the 1070 beat it. Now, when I actually was watching the playback, it was pretty similar, but you see the score. It's not really much to talk about. The 1070 is coming out slaying, hitting hard, taking it to the head. Now, when we get into some actual gameplay footage, I don't really deal with Assassin's Creed too much, but it does have a pretty good built-in benchmark. Ooh, Lord. And you can see that, you know, I could nitpick about who won here, but in a real-world performance, they actually performed pretty similar at 1440p. Now, for this next one, I actually split it up. You have Division 2 1660 on the right, 1070 on the left. In game, the performance was actually pretty damn similar. Now, when we actually look at the scores, you can see that the 1070, man, in the benchmark, it comes out on top again. You're seeing a consistent theme here that the 1070 is going to score better with higher performance than the 1660. Now, to wrap it up, here's a game that I play a lot, Black Ops 4. You can see the 1070 on the right is crushing it with the FPS at the top. Honestly, man, head to head is pretty similar, but I will go with the 1070 all day. The GTX 1660. It's a pretty interesting card. Nvidia released this when they kind of were in the market. They were just trying to stomp out AMD at every phase, pretty much every part of the budget. You have this card at around $220 to $230. You have the 1660 Ti that's running about $270 to $280. Then you have like the RTX 2060, which is going about $320 in that price range. So they really wanted to just saturate every price range and say, we have a card that can perform in your budget. So the 1660 has kind of been overlooked because when it comes to the $200 budget, a lot of people are thinking about buying an older used card to get more value for their money versus buying a somewhat new card that may be underpowered going into the future. I can't tell you really how to spend your money. You might value a new card with newer technology that has a full warranty, and you might say, hey, for $220, that's a better deal to me than spending $180 on a used card for a couple of more FPS. And honestly, like I said, it's your money. No one can tell you you're wrong with how you spend your money. But if you're into doing research and looking up things and stuff, I do believe if you have access to a pretty good used market, that the GTX 1070 used is basically pretty much the best bang for your tech dollars in that sub $200 range. I think if you can get a higher powered device at around the same price as a new lower powered device, always look out, please. Don't go buy anything and say you got scammed and come talking to me, because I can't help you. Always do your due diligence, but sometimes, man, you gotta take a risk, especially if you're looking for a deal. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. It's your kinfolk Dookie. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to holler at your boy.